Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Mr. Reyes lives in the Philippines and has always taken pride in his home. So he is a homeowner, and a tidy lawn, a beautiful terrace, and that freshly renovated living room where he and his wife like to sit on weekends with a cup of coffee and some jazz playing softly in the background. Do you remember this situation? Perhaps it is exactly the same at the place where you live, and perhaps you are also a homeowner, a house owner. So, and that is the topic today. So, welcome to another episode of Flood Protection Secrets. Why the first flood is always too late. And I subtitled it with a homeowner's story and the painful truth behind reactive flood protection. Yeah, so Mr. Reyes was sitting there on his terrace, and it was during one of those quiet Saturday afternoons in July. Overcast skies, little wind, nothing alarming, when everything changed. And by the way, that is not a story that I invented. That is a true story of a customer who finally became our customer. And that is his story. And perhaps you are in a similar situation. So you will get the solution, what to do, and what the consequences are at the end of the story. So stay tuned with us. And let's go back to Mr. Reyes, who is still sitting on his terrace. And once again, it was during one of those quiet Saturday afternoons in July. And then everything changed. The sun was shining before. Within 1 hour, the rain intensified. And then came the knock on the gate from his neighbor. "Per, your garage is flooding." Mr. Reyes rushed outside. The water had started pushing up from the street, rising fast. It wasn't some epic wave crashing through the fence. No, it was much sneakier than that. The water entered under the garden gate, crept across the slightly sloped driveway, and flowed silently into the garage. And within minutes, it found the door to the laundry room, and from there, the rest of the house. And in his garage were a Mercedes and a BMW, by the way. That was perhaps one of the reasons why he contacted us and me as a German engineer abroad, because he was convinced about German technology. So the family tried desperately to stop the water entering the garage and the house. Towels under doors, buckets, mops, but it was too late, and the rain didn't stop, and the city's drainage system couldn't keep it. And the living room, their peaceful weekend retreat, became a shallow indoor lake. The sofa ruined, their daughter's school books gone, the fridge, the washing machine, family photo albums destroyed. That night, exhausted and heartbroken, Mr. Reyes sat on the edge of his staircase, looking down at the muddy water pooling across his floor. "I should have done more And something earlier he whispered. Mr. Reyes is not alone. In fact, 9 out of 10 private homeowners who call us do it too late, just like him. They wait until after the first flood, after the furniture is destroyed, after the insurance refuses to cover the damage, after the priceless memories are lost, like wedding albums, school projects, handwritten letters from loved ones, perhaps a golden ring from the great-grandmother, and the grandparents. Why does this happen? Because many people still believe that flood protection is only for big infrastructure, factories, airports, dams. But the truth is this: floods don't care who you are. Floods don't care who you are, who we are, who I am. They don't check your zip code or your job title. They only follow gravity and water pressure, and your building is in their way. And here's something else no one tells you. Floodwater doesn't usually come in like a wave. It rises slowly, silently from street level. It seeps under gates. It pushes through drainage pipes. It finds the lowest point and forces its way in. Most floods don't start like a disaster movie. They start with a clogged drain and end with a ruined home. Yeah, that's already the story of Mr. Reyes. And wait a second and stay with us, because there comes a solution what he did. But before, I want to share my golden nugget with you. You always know that there's always a golden nugget at the end of one episode. And here's a golden nugget for today. The best time to invest in flood protection is before your first flood. The best time to invest in flood protection is before your first flood. You think it is simple what I say? Yes, it is very simple. But the question is, why do the people don't follow? At the beginning, I told you, 9 out of 10 homeowners only call when it is too late. So it is for them. It is not for the one, the sentence. The 1 out of 10 does the right, takes the right decision. He takes action. Or she, yeah. So that might sound obvious, but once again, 90% of the homeowners act only after it is too late. And here's the cost. The emotional damage of losing things that insurance can never replace. The financial damage of paying out of pocket for repairs. The time lost trying to rebuild. It takes weeks, months, sometimes years. And the fear, the next time it could be even worse. And now imagine this. Mr. Reyes had installed demountable flood barriers on his garage and in front of, at the street side, at his gates. And the rain comes, the water rises. But this time it stops, it's held back. So he indeed installed the RS demountable flood barriers with the thickness of 57 millimeters, the height of each element. It's a stackable one. It is 300 millimeters, and when the length of the spans is too high, is too long, is too big, yeah. then we install demountable flood barriers, yeah. And in this case, there were three gates, one for the garage, another one for the for a second parking area, and the main gate in the middle of the whole fence leading to the house. And so he installed, I think, as far as I remember, one gate was about 5 meters entrance or 6 meters. The other one also 5-6 meters, and the door in the middle, something was 2.50 meters. That was a double leaf door. What he has, and now he installed the things. So that means we installed it. Our people, the specialist installed it. It came with some civil works, because you must make sure that, of course, the floor and the the posts from the fence or the wall from the building, they are flat and even, there are no damages, that the water cannot creep behind or cannot pass and get in behind the installation. That is very important. So this time the water rises or the rain comes or came, and it stopped. It heads back because no muddy living room, no destroyed appliances, no stress, and the car's still okay. The BMW and the Mercedes. That's what smart flood planning looks like, and that's what we want for you. That was my golden nugget. The best time to protect your property from flooding was before the first flood. The second best time is now. Indeed, the best time to protect your property from flooding was before the first flood, and the second best time is now. So why do you wait? Floods don't wait. They don't care about your calendar, your budget cycle, or your to-do list, but they can be stopped. If you act early, then you will be protected. Yeah, that's it for today's episode for Flood Protection Secrets. If you've ever said, let's wait a bit, we've never had flooding here, or it's not urgent, then this episode was especially for you. And if you are not a homeowner and you say, it's not my field of application. I'm not a homeowner. I live in the 50th floor of a condominium somewhere in a high-rise building. Fine. But perhaps you park your car in the basement of this building. Then you should talk to the building owner. Or perhaps you are a business manager and you are responsible for a hotel, a hospital, a restaurant, a commercial center, some shops, offices, whatever, or you are a governmental representative who is responsible for all the public buildings like public hospitals, metro, bus depots, and what else? The pumping stations, for instance, telecommunication units, power supply, and all this kind of things. Water plants, water treatment plants, for instance. All these things have to be protected, and not to forget the schools, kindergarten, school, universities. So take action now. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Reach out to our flood experts at our Asian headquarters in the Philippines, or to connect with the German headquarters in Germany, or connect with me directly, or just Google Andreas Klippe. And then we will provide you with the right partners who are responsible, for instance, in the US, in Australia, in the UK, in India, Asia Pacific, Europe, wherever you are. Subscribe to the podcast, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and join us next time. And as always, stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with a new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe, flood protection secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.